division. My one solution is my queen, cause she stays strong. She was always in my car, right there when no one, all these other girls are tempting. Oh, I think that I found myself a cheerleader. She was always right there when I need her. Like I'm not done. When there's no more light that you can see, I'll take us back to times when lives were similar and times that all seemed easier. Don't be afraid, I'll be the one to guide you through this endless maze.
And happy day 3 of the reading rush. I probably am getting drowned out by the sounds of the sea, haha, pun intended. But I thought I would come on and speak vlog since I haven't. It's always been montage and random dance breaks here and there. So I bought 3 books to the beach, which may seem excessive, but one of them I'm actually not reading. One of them I just went to the arcade and took a picture of, Ready Player One, with some of the arcade stuff. I'm about to upload it now, hopefully, if I can see. The sun has literally just gone in behind a cloud, so I think I'm just going to quickly do it now. I'm not going to be reading Ready Player One until we go home, I don't think, because it is my book to movie adaptation. I've already read it and I've already seen the film. I want to reread it and rewatch it. So I decided to pick it for this challenge, but I'm not reading it on the beach. I just bought it to take a picture. That's how shallow I am. And then I decided to scrap the Kingdom for one of the challenges, but I'll talk about that a little bit more on our way home. So I've decided to replace that with, for my reading a book in the same spot challenge, I'm going to be reading Heartstopper by Alice Oseman, which is the book I bought yesterday, volume 2. I'm going to read this whilst I'm on the beach. I also took a picture of this one as well, and I also took a picture of the other book as well. But yeah, so I'm going to read this all in one sitting on the beach, listening to the sounds of the waves and maybe catching a tan. I'm going to get some ice cream and everything's going to be good. And then the book that I started reading this morning and the book that I will be finishing when we get back to my granddad's is Unwind by Neil Schusterman. I said this in the last little portion of yesterday's vlog that I'll be reading this. I forgot to say what Heartstopper was about. So this is volume 2. It's just about 2 gay teens trying to find themselves. One's a rugby player, I believe, or like a football player, and they're both gay, and one of them gets bullied, and it's adorable, and I can't wait to read this. And then Unwind is about the society, this dystopian society where children can be something called unwinded. Basically, there was like outrage from both sides of the abortion like debate, pro-choice and pro-life, and so they came to a compromise and said that children can be something called unwind until the age of 18. So they're like killing a child if they're not wanted, but also they're not exactly dead. I'm not actually sure how that's going to work, but I'm really excited to see how it goes. I have read literally like the first few pages. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start Heartstopper Volume 2, get some cute shots of the sea, and read this all in one spot, because why the fuck not? Absolutely exhausted. It is 25 to 11 on the 3rd day of the reading rush, and I have just done so much reading today, but not a lot of vlogging. So I did technically manage to finish 2 things today. First of which being Heartstopper Volume 2 by Alice Oseman. You saw me reading this on the beach during my montage footage, because I picked this up yesterday and I was literally dying to read it. And what is a better place to read this all at once? They also, funnily enough, go to the beach during this book, so there you go. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I honestly can't wait for the 3rd one. I don't actually know how to rate graphic novels because I haven't read that many of them, but I'm starting to figure out what I like in a graphic novel, what kind of style I like, and this just falls into what kind of book I like in general, let alone graphic novel in like a specific way. So I really enjoyed this. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. The second book that I technically finished today was Unwind by Neil Shusterman. This fulfilled my challenge of reading an author's very first book, and it wasn't that great. I feel really bad for saying that, even though I love Neil Shusterman. I think he's a very talented writer. This wasn't bad at all. It just didn't suit me in my brain. I forgot to tell you actually, while I was reading this, I was using my little sloth bookmark just because it was a similar colour, and that's basically it. So I DNF'd this at page 140-ish, I think. I read 140 pages, which is just shy of halfway. I think it's like literally like 20 or so pages away from halfway through. I couldn't do it anymore. I was trying to push on for your audiobook, and that was just making me lose the story even more, because when you're already not interested in something and somebody else is reading to you, it kind of just makes me fall asleep. So this is basically about, as I've said, children being unwind. Now, the biggest problem I had with this was the fact that the plot didn't really make sense. Because it is like a really big fantasy dystopian sci-fi-ish novel series, it needs a lot of like, you know, info dumping and explaining and answering questions about the world, because you're unfamiliar with it. It's not a contemporary way you just walk in and be like, oh, this is London, I know exactly how it looks, I know how people should speak, I know how the dialogue, the dialect, how people act, what's there. Maybe if you're familiar with London a lot, you'll know what to expect. But walking into a new world, even if just a slight bit has changed, like for instance, this is still our society, this is dystopian, it's still our society, but something has changed, obviously, because now kids, literal kids, can be unwind and killed, basically. It took me so long to get my head around that and what that means. I just never did. Like, I never actually got my head around what that means. You're killing somebody. Like, it was just so messed up. One of the biggest things about the plot and the whole getting over the fact that there's literal kids being killed was the age demographic that Neil Shusterman picked for the kids to be unwound at. 13 to 18. What a random fucking age. Like, what? Surely those are the most important years of a child's life, and cutting it off 18 and starting at the age of 13 of the process of being unwound just doesn't make sense to me. Why have they picked vulnerable, impressionable teenagers basically to be unwound? Why have they not like aborted them or something? They've had them 13 years. How is anybody gonna be able to be like, yeah, I'm gonna kill you, never see you again? I just couldn't do it anymore. I got 140 pages in, almost half of the novel, and I just did not know what was going on. I like the characters. I think they had a really good chemistry. I think the main characters, Connor, Risa had, and honestly, I was just kind of carrying on to see if their relationship would grow anymore. But to be honest, they met really quickly and they trusted each other very quickly, and I'm just kind of like at like my wit's end, and I was just like, really can't do this anymore. They end up with a baby in a school, and I'm just like, why? What is going on? And I'm just tired, and I don't think this personally is the book for me right now. I'm so exhausted, not just because of the readathon or anything. I think this would have been actually quite perfect for the readathon. I had to listen to over 2.5 hours of this left, and I'd already listened to about 2.5 hours, and I was just like, I can't do this again. Like, I can't do it. And it just didn't make sense to me, and I DNF'd. And I'm really sorry, and I'm just sad. No one is as sad as me that I've had to DNF this. I just didn't understand what the fuck was happening half of the time, and I need to just move on. So the challenges I have now completed include the purple on the cover, an author's first book, a book I meant to read last year, and like sitting in the same spot. So I have completed quite a lot of the challenges. There aren't actually that many more. I've also just decided not to read Wicked Fox, which I was planning to read for the Bookmarked Book Club, but 2 of the members of Bookmarked have now rated it at 2 stars. I was not going to waste my time. So I think my next read for tomorrow on the way home will be The Kingdom by Jess Rothenberg. I have a signed edition, which is a special edition from Waterstone. This sounds a little bit more up my street, to be honest. So this is basically set in a world called The Kingdom, where literally happily ever afters, where did that come from? Where happily ever afters are literally forced, like they are made to happen. And these like half android, half humans, not entirely human, but half and half android, called fantasists, are set out to make happily ever happen. So we're in the perspective, I think, of a fantasist named Anna, but she starts to experience some emotions and things that she wasn't originally planned and programmed for, and it just gets a little bit messy, and I'm really excited for this. I swear to God, if the fact that I'm so tired ruins this for me as well, I'm not going to be very happy. I might play it safe and actually read Jack of Hearts, Some of the Parts tomorrow, which is my 5 or more were in the title book. But I'm going to see how tired I am in the morning and how much sleep I get. Will determine what I read. We have a 4-hour car journey, and this is 335 pages, actually exactly the same as how many Unwind has. They've all kind of been just over 300 pages, which is great, like they don't take that long. So it will take me the majority of the car journey to read this if I do choose to read it. I'm going to go and get some sleep. I'm going to very quickly edit as much as I can of this vlog. I don't think there's a lot of it. So I do apologise for that, and this might not be up when I normally would put it up, but I will be home soon. So my Wi-Fi will only take about an hour to upload these vlogs, whereas here it takes like 7. But thank you so much for watching. This is my Instagram picture of the day. I posted my Ready Player One picture that I've been dying to post for ages. I had an idea about it yesterday. It turned out really well in my humble opinion. I don't care if I win, but if I do, that'd be great. I just think it's a really, really good picture. These Instagram challenges for the Reading Rush, for me anyway, aren't about winning. It's just about like being creative and just putting some like just effort into my bookstagrams. I do put effort in anyway, don't get me wrong, but I just look at the ones I've taken for the Reading Rush or Booktubeathon in the past. I just think, yeah, that was a really good photo. I don't know why I didn't win, but it was a really good photo anyway. I feel like I'm just more proud of them once it's in the Reading Rush or like in a readathon. I get more proud of them, I guess. There was my day 3 Reading Rush vlog. I really, really hope that you enjoyed it. I will see you tomorrow for a brand new one and my thoughts on the Kingdom or Jack of Hearts other parts. I have work Friday and Saturday, which is going to be a little bit of a shock to the system in terms of reading, but I will still try and not fall behind. I have technically finished 2 books today, and I will definitely finish whatever I start on the way home tomorrow. Like, I'll finish it in its entirety, no matter what it is, whether it's The Kingdom or Jack of Hearts. I will literally finish it there. So technically I will be a book ahead, so if I have to catch up on Saturday after I finish at 7, when I come home at 8 and take part in the 9 PM sprints, if I have to like catch up there, it's not going to be the end of the world, but I am going to try and keep on top of it because I don't want to fall behind. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for a brand new Reading Rush vlog. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed, subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye!